Hi, this is Dr. O with a quick look at motivation in the workplace. Now, just as a overall statement, this short video is not going to give you the detail you need to have a really good understanding of all these approaches. I'd like to orient you to what we mean by motivation and what are the three approaches that kind of make up the schools of thought about motivation in the workplace. So hold on, here we go. This is a simple map that seems, or it's oriented to explain what drives performance in the workplace. This is right from your book. And this says it's the person and the situation together drive performance. So you can see some of the attributes of people: ability, motivation, and accurate role perception means you understand what your job design is and what your role is. And the situation can be a lot of different things. It could be your supervision, could be the management in the company overall, could be various kinds of constraints in the physical environment. But these things together are seen to generally drive performance. Now, motivation, we have probably many things come to mind when we hear the word motivation, but I like the definition that's used in our text: a force within or outside of the body that energizes, directs, and sustains human behavior. So this can be stuff inside that's pushing you forward, pulling you forward, and could be things outside, different factors influencing your intensity of effort, the direction in which your effort is applied, and your perseverance in staying with the task or the goal achievement on a sustained basis. So motivation is about energy, about direction, and about perseverance. And there's lots and lots of theories and explanations. We're going to look at generally the content theories, process theories. What I'm calling the socio-cognitive theories might be some of the newer approaches referred to in the book. Now, the content theories are being represented here by this psychologist, Abraham Maslow. And basically we're saying there's needs within individuals that are inside in the content of an individual that need to be addressed, and that determines the motivation level. This is a famous pyramid you've probably seen in other courses, even in high school. Maslow proposed that these kind of are an ascending set of needs from physical, from safety and security to physiological, social, ego and esteem, and self-actualization, and that when one level is fairly well satisfied, the next one becomes more important, and so forth. Now, this has been summarized in what's sometimes called GRE theory. Actually, some empirical research was done on Maslow's pyramid approach, and the researchers said it doesn't exactly work in the way that we commonly explain the pyramid, but this is quite similar, and it is more empirically supported by research. And you can see you start at the bottom, you have existence needs, then you have relatedness or social needs, and then at the top level you have growth needs. So it's a very similar breakout. And in the GRE theory, people talk more specifically about the fact that as situations change and things change in our lives, we might go up and down that this scheme as situations change, rather than feel like we've arrived at a certain level and we're not going to go backwards. That's just not the way life completely works. The third need theory that we're going to talk about briefly is by McClelland, Dave McClelland, a famous psychologist who said there's three groups of needs that we all have in varying degrees. And those are the need for power, the need for achievement, and the need for affiliation. And affiliation, connectedness with others, achievement, getting things done, achieving things ourselves, quite evident, self-evident. But the need for power, as McClelland looked at it, didn't have a negative sense to it at all. It was, I have a real drive to change the world around me, to make a difference. So at its higher level, that's really what he means by a need for power. It could be either pro-social, meaning it's going out to impact many people or many situations, other things outside of myself, I should say, for good. If it's really highly personalized, then that's when the need for power might not be quite so good, because it's more all about me, all about the ego of the individual, rather than using power to make positive change. Okay, those are some of the content theories. The process theories mean there is some sort of calculation that's going on, some sort of thinking and analysis that leads you to say, how motivated you are in terms of intensity, direction, and perseverance. The first is widely taught, and probably you've used it a number of times yourself, goal setting theory. This chart might look a little bit complicated, but actually it says start with your personal values, you look at your current situation, and you set goals, and they can be set in different ways. Individually, in participation with others, they could be assigned to you by a boss, and so forth. The characteristics of the goal might impact how effective it is. Is it reasonably difficult and specific? Am I buying into it? Am I committed to it? And the outcome can be actually getting the goal met, performance, satisfaction, how I feel about that, and then the actual rewards that might come from achieving the goal. So just a super quick look at goal setting. There's more I think you should uncover in the short chapter, section of a chapter maybe about that. The third process theory is often called equity theory, related to justice explanations in the workplace. And basically it says that as individuals, we tend to compare these two ratios. On the first set on the left side is the outcomes, what I am getting in comparison to the inputs, how hard I'm working, how much effort I'm putting in. And how does that ratio compare to the outcomes versus the inputs of another person in the organization, doing my exact job or a similar job or something in a different context, but is what they're getting commensurate with the input that they're giving? So this is important in HR, as people say, pay rates, internal to the company to be hopefully quite equitable, and externally so you can attract good talent to the organization. And when people are upset about equity, they can withdraw effort. They could just kind of not contribute at the level they might because they're discouraged or feel things aren't fair, or they might choose to look for another position, another job. The expectancy theory is another widely taught process theory, and it looks quite complicated here, but it's pretty straightforward. Now, we know that effort, according to this model, effort drives performance and drives different kinds of outcomes. Now, and there's different expectancies around these different outcomes. So you can see the first one, the effort leading to performance, is the first expectancy. That's E. What is my expectation that if I put in the effort, I can do this thing? I can get it done, right? Okay, the next is performance outcome expectancy. And sometimes that's called I, instrumentality. So how much do I expect that if I get this thing done, I'm going to get the reward? And the third kind is a valence. How valuable is that outcome to me, right? How hard am I going to chase it? How much effort am I going to put out? So according to this, it's the expectation I can do the job kind of multiplied by the expectation if I do the job well, I'm going to get the outcome, multiplied by how much do I value that particular outcome. That's the valence. So this is might be kind of behind some of the ways that pay schemes, incentive plans, bonus plans, and so forth would be constructed as people see how much do I value that? Am I really going to get it? And can I do the thing that needs to be done to get that reward? The socio-cognitive, that's maybe a term I'm semi-made up here, but these are just a couple of ways of looking at what's in me, what's the juice that I have in terms of energy and focus and belief that I can do things. The first one might just be self-efficacy theory, and that's really the sense that I know, the confidence I have that I can do a particular thing. Now, there's also a sense of generalized self-efficacy, which could mean I generally feel I'm an able person who can accomplish a lot of things. Your level of self-efficacy might impact things like this: the goals you choose to pursue when you have a choice, how much learning you're going to get, how much effort you're going to put in, how much you're going to persist, and how resilient you're going to be to setbacks, which are just a normal part of our daily lives. So self-efficacy is a great area to explore in greater detail. And another approach to understanding motivation, and some say this is a very powerful way of understanding what really drives people in the workplace, is self-determination theory with three main factors. If people are given, or people respond positively, according to this approach, with a fairly good level of autonomy, the ability to make some choices about how things are going to be done, a sense of competence, the sense that you have the skills and abilities to do what needs to be done, and relationships. How are you connected to others in the work endeavor? And when you have these three, reasonable degree of autonomy, a sense of capability to do what needs to be done, and connection, relationships that are positive surrounding the work, that's more likely to be motivating. And so let's look at a very quick overview of content views, process views, and socio-cognitive views of motivation, and each one contributes to a fuller understanding of what makes us tick at work. See you next time.